fascists organise, they bring violence with them.
We, as a Polish group, we will oppose any form of fascism in England or anywhere around.
What's that about? I'm not playing your games. You should be ashamed, but it's like banter you can't live without. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that we fall out.
Doesn't matter if you are from Poland or from England or from all the country. We're gonna go and we're gonna, stay against you.
Most important thing about fighting fascism is to be united and have discipline. One of the things that individual fascists and fascists try to do is to provoke. If they want to provoke, the obvious thing for us to do is not be provoked and stand in unity together, ensuring that we're here together, showing our strength, the strength of the community linked with the trade union movement that I represent, Unite the Union, showing discipline, because that's the way, wherever it is, whenever we have to fight and oppose fascists, that we defeat fascists. Unity, the broadest unity possible, determined unity, prepared to take action, prepared to keep our streets free of fascists, but unity nonetheless, a unity that avoids being provoked by tiny little incidents by fascists who use one little pinprick to try and provoke.
Greetings all from the Hornsey and Wood Green Labour Party. Very good to be here amongst friends, and big thank you to UAF for organising today. And on behalf of everyone over in Hornsey and Wood Green, just bringing best wishes, and it's great to be standing up together, all showing our diversity here in the community. And a big thank you to the organisers. We'd like to reiterate our support for working against fascism, standing together and having a united front. We're very pleased that we've had a turnout this afternoon. We were at community events, so coming towards the end of the demonstration today, but just to say thank you very much for inviting us, and solidarity, best wishes. We've also got a number of councillors with us here. Come over, councillors, show your solidarity. Got Harry Armitt and Adam Joggy and Liz McShane, all three newly elected in the last couple of months. On behalf of the Labour Party, just to say we're standing with you, fully support your work today, and look forward to working with you in the coming months on defeating fascism. We also just like to say on behalf of the Labour Party how concerned we are about UKIP, the rise of UKIP, and we will be working very, very hard, not just in London but across the country, to stand up to UKIP on the issues that they raise. We are concerned about the sorts of debate and the rhetoric which can give rise to allowing this kind of thing to develop. So thank you for having us, and we look forward to working more closely with you in the coming months to defeat any instance of fascism, violence, racism here in our local community. Thank you.
This is our community, and we have to own this community. No matter what culture you're from, no matter what your political persuasion is, I think this country here can accommodate all. What I want to do, I'm impressed with the turnout that's here, but as I said, it's very peaceful, and this is how we need to have our community. Haringey is a changing place. Haringey is an all-engaging place. Haringey has got a diverse community that works together.
Race and colour, marching side by side, marching across the continent where 1 million fascists died. You're bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. Come on, all of you fascists bound to lose. All of you fascists bound to lose. All of you fascists bound to lose. That's nice. You're bound to lose. You fascists bound to lose.
There's a young man from the Jewish community who was speaking to me before. Because it's the Sabbath, he cannot speak. But this is what he said had been happening. He said a small group of racists and Nazis have been harassing part of the Jewish community, and what they'd said to them was go back to Auschwitz, and there was Sikh Heiling where some of them were living. And that's part of the reason why we've called a protest, because that's got no place in Haringey, and it's got no place in the world actually. Fascism has got no place in the world, and they've got no right to begin to organise. And one of the things we have to say is this park is open to everybody. I was just speaking to the friends of Markfield Park, and they were saying about the different communities that come here and use the park. I used to live on Gladesmore Road for 8 years, and I never saw any Nazis here. I also have to say something else. I don't think it's a good place for Nazis actually, because what happens every time they do come here, they tend to get chased away. And it's good that they're chased away, because they've got no right to organise.
As we know, there's a racist climate being generated, deliberately generated, by politicians and by the media to scapegoat immigrants, to have a go at anyone who's on benefits, to have working class people fighting amongst ourselves for the crumbs that are left to us. It's the politics of scapegoating and the politics of the divide and conquer, divide and rule. And we can see what that has led to in the past, and we can see the rise of very large, very influential far-right and fascist organisations across Europe, and the danger is real and present here in Britain as well.
We, of course, have been targeted by fascists and Nazis over the decades around the world and here in Britain. And one of the things that the Jewish Socialist Group is concerned to do is to make sure that we don't forget our own history, that we ally with communities who are being targeted by the fascists today, and that we are a refugee and migrant community as well, and that we see an identity with migrants today. Because one of the things about fascism, one consistent things in all its different guises, is its anti-immigrant and anti-immigration attitude. And lying behind the fascist organisations is a very dangerous anti-migrant culture, which is rested upon and encouraged by the mainstream political parties as well as the fascists. And so it's very important, we believe, to challenge those anti-migrant attitudes and to challenge immigration controls indeed. The second thing I wanted to say, which reflects what seems to be going on today, right now, is that there are many aspects to fighting fascism, and I think it's important not to counterpose one against the other. And it's very important, as has been said by many speakers, to organise at a community level. It's essential to organise at a community level to bring people together. But that isn't counterposed to the need to physically defend our streets and physically defend our parks or wherever it is. Because the enemy that we're facing is a dangerous physical enemy. The events of last week proved that only too well. Person is stabbed. So we are facing an enemy who is a physical threat, and so organising means organising self-defence as well as organising politically to get our ideas across and to build bridges in the community. Both these things are essential, and it's a shame that when the movement divides on these things, instead of saying actually we need to find ways of making sure they complement each other. Thank you.
I refuse to fail. My life is not an exam, so why am I forced to revise them? Grammatical errors like a misprinted book, but errors is what this life entails. And I take a look at this box of goodies, there's a padlock but no key. Unlock my mind with your words of knowledge, and I'll help you to help me to help others. And if I don't know the answers, I'll just ask more questions. Everything plays a part in my life, but it's only been brought to my attention. Only good intentions is what I'm about, and it may be different to someone else. Now they need to approach it in a different way. I'm focused, a creative mess, you could say, and I'll be over the moon when I start getting paid for the thing that I love the most. Consistent, determined, patient, no joke. Now, talent is underestimated, so you have to have an inner drive to make it, because if my ideas stop, I might as well stop. Thank you, that was the first piece.
Yeah. But I also want to say this about what we've got to do, because if you look across in France and you see the vote for Le Pen, if you look in Germany, you see for the first time a Nazi organisation has been elected to the European Parliament. it's important that we make sure that when the Nazis try and organise, that we stand out against them. I want to salute the anti-fascist Polish people that spoke, because I saw a demonstration in Krakow where the Polish Nazis there burnt down the anti-fascist statue that people have built there. And I think it's important that we stand in solidarity with those people, that we stand in solidarity with the Roma that they've attacked across Eastern Europe. And we have to be very, very clear that when the dark shadows of fascism start to appear, it's important that we make a stand and say that you shall not pass and you will not control the destiny of how people live and act inside this area. I think the other thing we have to say is that their best friend, Nick Griffin, was kicked out of the European Parliament and was kicked out and defeated. And every single time, the English Defence League, the hooligans that try and march on the street, we've actually stopped them from being able to march. So we start from a position of strength, not a position of weakness, and we should celebrate that. And I think we've gone much further than we used to be. When I grew up in London in the 1970s, the National Front would threaten people, they'd go around and attack people. People like Stephen Lawrence were murdered, inspired by those people that carried out those acts. And that's the reason why we have to say, every single time you see fascists and racists start to organise, it's important to start immediately organising and make sure that they don't get a foothold. Because one or two Nazis too many.
Just from the point of view of teaching, one of the bits of nonsense that we're being put through these days as teachers is to promote British values. Well, I'm a history teacher and I promote British values because I teach kids about the Battle of Cable Street, and I teach them about the situation with the race riots in Notting Hill and how a mixed community in West London came together to see off Mosley and his fascists and the Teddy Boy gangs that were terrorising the area back at that time. And that's a lesson of real British values, of how a working class community can see off people that come to divide us.
So how am I supposed to know if you silently speaking codes? And how am I supposed to know that you and I was the cause of it? Said round and round we go, circles become a joke. You're saying I'm acting like I don't know where I went wrong. Am I in the wrong? One more step I'm gone, saying things you don't mean. Babes, come on, I'm like, leave it out. Sorry, silent treatment, what's that about? I'm not playing your games. You should be ashamed, but it's like banter you can't live without. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that we fall out. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that we fall out. You give me one-word answers, in the mood with your whispering antics. I'm sorry that I said what I said when I said it. If I was aware of what I said, I wouldn't have said it. Look, so let me know where I stand. Let me know what I can do to make it better. Is it the outcome that you planned, or did I mess up all your plans altogether? Yeah, I'm like, leave it out. Sorry, silent treatment, what's that about? I'm not playing your games. You should be ashamed, but it's like banter you can't live without. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that we fall out. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that we fall out. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that we fall out. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that we fall out. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that we fall out. It's such a shame. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that we fall out. That was the first one, thank you very much.
I want to congratulate everybody that's come here today, asserting our public space belongs to us, belongs to the breadth of the community, and we're determined to defend that.